Have you checked the children? Your little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Bienvenidos, Fright fans. Welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Jaime and Fuego.
I'm Robert Duell, and here we got another Patreon request for you. So today we have Island of Dr. Moreau from Josh Murray.
Yes.
So, yes.
Thanks, Josh. We appreciate revisiting this movie because I saw this in theaters as a kid.
Okay,
and I dug it, and this movie actually holds up pretty well.
Hell yeah, it does.
Yeah. I enjoyed it, man.
I still thoroughly love this movie, just from even like Val Kilmer and everything being the sleazy scientist guy and
he's
everything.
He's like so stoned out this whole
Oh
movie,
my god,
man.
yeah.
I even thought a few times he's just like staring and so slow with his line delivery. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And then later on when you find out he's blazing the whole time, I'm like, oh, he was acting stoned. Okay, or was he acting?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Was that a buddy of mine? He was watching
Val
it last
Kilmer.
night. He's like, I guarantee he was super high on this.
Acting,
I'm like, I think he was maybe acting, but who knows?
How many takes did we need there, Mr. Kilmer?
Yeah. But no, like this movie is amazing, and yes, it still definitely holds up.
Which is funny with all the behind-the-scenes drama that happened with this movie.
Yep.
Loss of director, bringing in Frankenheimer after Richard Stanley, the guy who did Hardware and most recently Color Out of Space, which was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, he just wasn't quite ready for a big budget movie is more what I would, assess of this. And the fact that we actually have a review here on the channel of that documentary about him getting kicked off the film, and then he didn't even leave the island where they were filming it. He was like hiding in the jungle and watching the filming and stuff. It's pretty funny. Yeah, but the makeup effects in this especially are awesome.
You can't go wrong with practical effects. Like 9 out of 10 times, they will always hold up.
And that's why this one holds up. And the weird little tiny guy. Catherine was so creeped out by that guy. She was just like, I feel so horrible. I can't even watch this. And I was like, hey, he's obviously a famous little actor if he's in this sort of thing. And
funny.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody has seen this tale various times. It's based on an H.G. Wells book.
Yep. And this is actually the
third.
Technically the third movie, because originally it was Island of Lost Souls with Bela Lugosi.
Okay.
And then we had the Island of Dr. Moreau with
the 70s one.
Yeah, 1977 with. Why do I want to say John Lancaster?
Showrunner.
Something like
camera.
that. But either way, the 77 version was still pretty good, and the practical effects were really nice.
They were good in that one too. Yeah, and wasn't there also like a silent German one in the 20s, I want to say?
That I'm not aware of. All I'm aware of is actually the three. Lost Souls, Island 77, and then Island 990, whatever we have.
There was also a comic book adaptation that Cecil had me read recently that wasn't too bad, but I mean, it's a relatively simple story, really.
It is, yeah. It's, so basically we have our Dr. Moreau, who's been living on this island for about 17 years and doing genetically enhancing experiments with human and animal DNA, creating hybrids.
Played by Marlon Brando.
Hell yes.
He is kind of going through the motions at times in this, but there are a few tender scenes, particularly one with him and Firuza Balk that I thought was really, really solid.
During her
where she's starting to transform a little bit, and she's getting teeth and stuff. And yeah.
Because you definitely tell like he didn't want that to happen. You could see that. It wasn't, but like you were saying, there were times that he was just going through the motion on the days and whatnot, but other days you'd see he was actually putting some more effort into it.
Yeah, he gave a crap,
which was nice. And then even our main guy,
I forget the name.
I
of
forget
the actor,
his name, but
I've seen him in a ton of
he's
stuff, man.
the Harry Potter movies and everything like that. He played that werewolf rat looking thing.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
I hated that werewolf look. That was god awful. But yeah, and then God, I can't remember what else he was in. But yeah, other than that, we have Val Kilmer from Batman, Ghost in the Darkness, a bunch of other stuff.
Good pull with Ghost in the Darkness.
That was a great movie
with him and Michael Douglas. Is
badass,
man.
great movie.
Yeah, it's so funny how everybody hates on everything Batman. That what's his name? Don't know the name of the director. Why is it eluding me? The director of the third and the fourth Batman movie, Schumacher.
Yes.
Joel Schumacher.
Thank
you, Cecil. Yeah. Honestly, everything aside from those two Batman movies that he did, I think Schumacher's a terrific director. But
valid.
Yeah. But Val is interesting in this one.
Interesting, yes.
Playing the stoned assistant to Moreau, who is kind of resentful of him to a degree. And then the British actor that we couldn't, think of the proper name for, he's actually rescued on this, like, he's basically on a lifeboat equivalent with these two murderous dudes, and he shows up as the only guy who is left alive, and he's brought to this island, and he thinks he's initially gonna be, given safe trade back or travel or whatever, and then he's held hostage, and he gets the full extent of Moreau's experiments and the strange religion that these half human, half animal hybrids
the
are
law,
trying to do.
which also was cool. It's like I
walk
knew,
on twos instead of all fours.
Yeah,
and,
but also the guy who played the Speaker of Law is Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
And everything. I forgot about that, and then rewatched it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's him. Like how many, like all the big actors actually that we have in this. So also if you guys aren't familiar with Jango Fett from Clone Wars, who's going to be playing Boba Fett in season 2 of Mandalore.
Or so they say.
Well, it's on the IMDb. It is on the IMDb. But he played the butler, the dog, and everything in this movie.
Okay.
Yep. So I thought that was a little cool little nod and everything.
So
going
is
through
it
everything.
the ones who seemed like his children, so to speak.
Yeah,
as
the
opposed to the
older one
experiments?
and everything.
Yeah.
The one in the middle who turned
the one who took charge.
Yeah,
and,
with Hyena and everything. That's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also the guy I can't remember. I know he played Eric Draven in the Crow series.
Oh, okay.
But he played the cheetah.
Oh, okay.
When I you'd know him if you saw his face. His name's eluding me right now, and I was even looking it up earlier.
Yeah. So I mean, there's an uprising of sorts that takes place, and our captive is caught in the midst of it, and yet he's kind of got a little love thing going with the Fruza Balk character. I was kind of bummed with what happened with her character off camera, without spoiling things. That kind of aggravated me. Just
that I definitely felt was a cheap little thriller. Where,
as far as story goes.
Yeah, what are we gonna do with this character and everything like that? And they just kind of just threw it out. Literally, kind of just threw it out the window.
Yeah, but I mean, everything else, it's a classic story that's tough to muck up in my estimation, and so I felt it was very strong, very solid retelling, and yet what really elevates this for me, I know we've talked a little bit about the acting, but I really want to skip right to the effects because the makeup work, the prosthetics on all of these different actors, I could only imagine extensive hours on set in this sort of jungle environment. I mean, and the fact that it was raining on and off most of the time, as Cecil and I found out when we were reviewing the documentary. So it was a tough set to be on for these actors, man. And the fact that they had to drive a few hours just to get to set, and then drive a few hours back to the hotel. Like, it was an arduous process getting this movie finished, man.
I'll have to check that documentary out.
It's
I
damn
haven't checked
good.
that out yet.
I forget maybe it's on Netflix if I recall correctly. But
we'll look that up.
But yeah, I mean, everybody looks terrific. Props to the team behind it.
Oh,
right?
hell yeah. And that's, I think, the biggest reason why this movie holds up so well today.
Yeah, I mean, the cast and
obviously
effects,
it's our cast and everything. That's our biggest driving force. But the effects, like that's the showrunner of this movie.
Big time, yeah. That's what gets you in the door, and just the cute corresponding outfits with Brando and his tiny little mini-me of sorts. And this was
an allergy to the sun, so he's just like painted with just sunblock. And
I did read that they were making fun of this in that Austin Powers movie when they did the mini-me. They were making fun of Island of Dr. Moreau, which makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, I
with
can
him
see
playing
that.
the little piano on top of Marlon Brando's bigger piano and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So,
I can see that.
That's what they were spoofing.
That's cool. Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, but I mean, Brando's solid. The cast across the board, but Perlman in the uprising and being the leader of it and stuff, he really he captivates me in pretty much everything he does. And shortly after this, he went on to do Alien Resurrection, and then the Hellboy movies a few years later.
And then there was the Sci-Fi Channel movie Primal Force, I believe,
I never saw that one.
That was actually a really good one. Genetically engineered baboons and everything on an island and whatnot. And yeah. Check that out if you guys haven't watched it. It's on YouTube.
That's a deep cut for you, everybody.
Yeah,
yeah, but the acting was terrific. Perlman, Fruza Balk has the vulnerable, more human looking of the people who have been just tampered with and whatnot, and Kilmer for all of his stoned hilariousness. He's not as bad as a lot of people. I've seen some people tear this movie apart, and I personally disagree with them. I don't think the acting is as bad as a lot of people have said. I think the effects they've aged very well, and I don't know. Frankenheimer came in and saved this movie, in my opinion, from what could have been like a super disaster and a major loss for the studio if it just never even got released.
Yep.
So,
the only thing I would have to say negative about this movie is the 2 scenes that we have with CG with our cheetah character
Oh, with the
running.
actual movement. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where it looked dated. And
Yeah,
bad.
that is the only bad thing that didn't hold up about this movie. Other than that, between story, effects, our actors, they're all still fairly relevant and everything. Yeah. But no, like if you guys haven't watched this movie, definitely go check this out.
Revisit it. It's actually free on Vudu with ads if you're down for something like that. If you're okay with getting your presentation interrupted every 20 minutes, check it out for free there, or you can VOD it. So,
hell yeah, guys!
Right on. Thanks again to Josh Murray. Obviously, appreciate your support, sir.
All right, guys. Well, then that's been us here at the Horror Show. I've been Robert Duell.
Gracias to all our patrons, and look in the link below if you want to become one. I have been Jaime and Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.